Hello again, everybody, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, based on where you are and what time you are watching this video. Today, we're going to be talking about the best tips to upskill your career. You're with me, Ashish Fernando, your global survival guide, and I'm here to help you with tips and tricks to make you successful in your global study abroad journey. Alright, so let's get started. If you are someone who is looking at upskilling your career, thinking what's next for me, I've already learned everything that I had to learn in my career and where do I go next? Hang on and we'll talk about it for the next few minutes and hopefully share some valuable comments and feedback in our description as well. Great. Okay, so before we get started talking about how do you upskill and what do you upskill for, let's spend a couple of minutes just talking about why you even need to think of upskilling. Today, the technology landscape is changing, and most of you, even if it's been 2 or 3 years since you started working, you joined the workforce, you might realize that the technology and skill sets that you were trained in are now obsolete. Especially a lot of you who are in the field of computer science. There's so much happening with artificial intelligence and cloud technologies and you name it. And anything that was built and learned 2 years back today is obsolete. We're looking for everything that's better, faster, and cheaper. So in this changing scenario, how do you keep yourself abreast with what's new and how do you move to the next level? That's where upskilling today is so much more important than it was a decade ago. And the main reason for you to actually think of upskilling is because there's always someone who's fresher, who's smarter, who's newer, who will come and be able to do the same job that you're doing, but slightly better. So you have to stay abreast and you have to learn how to do your job in newer ways. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So what I've done is split this whole video into 4 parts. We're going to be talking about aspects of upskilling that I feel are most important. Starting with soft skills, we'll talk about hard skills, we'll talk about setting learning goals, and one piece that a lot of us ignore, which is the importance of networking. Just knowing people around you and connecting with them. So let's start with soft skills first. Okay. Now, what are soft skills? Soft skills, traditionally, if you read any book, is going to be about communicating effectively. It's going to be about expressing what you feel to your team, to your colleagues, to people around you, to your leadership. But today, that's actually not all of soft skills. Soft skill today is a lot about emotional intelligence. It's about EQI. And you all should read about it if you haven't. Because in a lot of jobs, even like in our company, we hire a lot of, even machine learning engineers, a lot of data people, a lot of sales and marketing people. But the first and most important aspect we look for is how emotionally intelligent a person is. Because it's no more a time where, you build a product and you just sell it and you say, here are the 3 things my product does and people will buy it. No. Nowadays, it's a lot of an emotional sale. You have to connect with your customer. You have to get into their brains and understand what they really want, because there's always another person who's trying to give better value than you. So in today's world, especially with startups, tech startups, you have to focus on emotional intelligence a lot. What I see in the market is there's a lot of people, coming from great schools, graduating with a computer science degree, but they've focused on studying and coding and building all of those software technologies really well, but they haven't really focused on their personal communication, their emotional intelligence, their soft skills. And that's something a lot of people lack. So if you think you are someone like that, you have to develop those skills, right? And there are very simple and easy ways for you to develop your soft skills. The first being connect with your leadership. Talk to them about how you can improve your soft skills, right? What do you need to do in office? Maybe conduct a few sessions, maybe lead at team meetings. Do a lot of those kind of things that are easily accessible and available to you in your offices. And that's going to help you improve your soft skills. The other thing you can do is also go out and connect with social organizations and become a part of it. It could be something that you really like and desire, like you love dogs. Okay, great. Go and join the Blue Cross Society, or go and join, there's PETA in India, there's Greenpeace, that's a global organization. And it's a great way to do what you like, but at the same time, get out of the comfort zone. Talk and communicate with people who are outside your organization, and that will immensely improve your soft skills. And then you can apply that back to the workforce. And trust me, soft skills are way more important than your hard skills, which we will come to next. So now let's talk about hard skills. Hard skills are basically the skills that apply to your job description, right? In a lot of places, when you read a job description for a marketer or for a machine learning engineer, you're going to see here are the hard skills required. And there's typically just one line that says, okay, it has to be good at communication and soft skills. We spoke about that first because it's undermined, but it's actually more important. Hard skills come next, and hard skills are very important, of course. But it's not just the skills that you learned for the job. Think of it as, for the one job that you've applied to and that you've got through, there's 10 other people who can do the exact same thing. So how are you different? Why should the company keep you and pay you more and deal with you? That's because they expect you to learn, to get better at your hard skills, and they think you are that person. So you need to think of, there are a few ways of learning your hard skills. One is get certified, right? So that's the easiest way to think about growing on your hard skills. So say for instance, you're a cloud engineer. What's the next? Just search cloud certifications. Take your skill, put it on Google, put certifications in front of it. You'll get a bunch of certifications. See which ones are most valuable, and then do those kind of certifications. And it will help you a lot in your hard skills. The second thing that you should do is also spend some time exploring and researching. It's amazing how I see a lot of people who come to office, who spend some time doing their work, and then they go back and they spend no time reflecting on their work, reflecting and researching and thinking about what to do better. Just even asking that question to yourself and then to Google will help you a lot. Just try asking Google something about how to do your job better. You'll have 20 different ways of doing a job better. If you're a marketer, just search on YouTube of how to be a better marketer. Depending on what you're doing, you're a paid ads person, you're an SEO person, or you're doing something else with digital content. There is so much that changes every day with respect to hard skills, and it's important to know that. Now, while I talk about hard skills, I'm going to give special attention and focus to tools and technology. No matter what job you are in, today there is a tool that's available to make your job better, right? If you're a project manager, there's hundreds of project management tools. There's Jira, there's Rally, and there's Monday.com, you just name it. If you're a marketer, there's hundreds of tools for managing your social media the right way, for writing blogs and managing your SEO. It's amazing how every job today has been permeated by tools and technology. And if you do not know how to use tools and technology, trust me, you're lagging behind. You need to know how to, first of all, use tools, and second, how to market those tools internally to your teams and to your bosses and to your leadership. That is also a very important part of growing your successful career and upskilling, right? It's not just about knowing what's next and what's best, but also communicating. Guess what helps in doing that? Soft skills, right? So hard skills and soft skills go hand in hand, and you have to really think deeply about these two. All right, number 3, most important, setting learning goals. It's amazing how many people just go haphazardly about improving their soft skills and improving their hard skills. But what is improvement without setting a learning goal, right? On Google Maps, can you just put a driving route to a destination that's not selected. You just cannot, right? You need to have your destination in sight. You need to know where you need to get to. So what do I mean by that? So today you might be a junior engineer or a senior software engineer, and your goal can be one of two ways. Your goal might be to become a product architect, right? That's at the top level of an organization, where your focus is mainly technology and very little on business. Or from a software engineer, you can go into becoming a project manager and then probably a CTO or someone where you have more focus on business, less focus on technology. Now, if you don't know what the end goal is for you and where you want to end up, how are you going to learn the right skills required for that end goal? So it's important for you to spend some time, and by some time I don't mean like 2 days. No, this is a process that takes time. It takes sometimes even months, but it's okay. It's okay for you to spend a few months just exploring what's my end goal, what's the outcome I'm looking for. Even if my outcome is completely outside of the function I'm in. You might be a software engineer and you might end up saying, oh my God, I want to be a marketer. I want to do social media. It doesn't matter. There is always a way to upskill yourself while reskilling yourself. But without a good learning goal, you're not going to know if you need to upskill or first you need to reskill. Reskilling basically means forget about some of the things you learned, learn completely new things at the base, at the groundwork, right? So for instance, if you're a software engineer, you want to become a social media expert, you have to learn the basics of social media. You have to learn the basics of everything from Facebook, Instagram, and how these tools work, and then upskill yourself. So set those learning goals. Spend, even if it takes 3 months, it doesn't matter. Every morning, wake up and write this. So here's what I used when I did my biotech, right? I did a bachelor's and master's in biotech. But today I don't work with anything even close to biotech. I work in edtech, and I work with a team that is building a great machine learning and AI-based platform, completely different than what I was skilled in. But I spent months just, the first morning when I woke up, I said, okay, I'm going to write this one paragraph about what I want to do. And then every morning look at that paragraph. Trust me, if you are a driven person, you're going to edit it every day. You're going to say, oh, yeah, no, that, not that. And then keep doing that to a point where you don't have to edit it the next morning. When you look at it, it feels right. And that's what you want to be, and that's your learning, that's your goal. Set that as your goal. Now create learning goals towards that final outcome that you want to reach. And it's very important. And make use of again, tools and visuals, right? Google something called a vision board, for instance. Once you have a goal in mind, put images on your screen or your daily desktop or wherever of things that you need to do in order to get to that goal. Okay, one important part of setting learning goals is keep it in 6-month intervals. It is very important. A lot of people that I coach and I work with, I tell them to set learning goals, and you'll see that the learning goal is more than a year long, right? Doesn't work. You have to create short-term goals that lead towards a long-term goal. And so it's important to have very little things that, okay, it's January now. What do I need to get done by June for myself in order to get to the final goal? These are the little things that you have to think about, right? With that, let's go to number 4 and the most difficult skill that you need to have that will go towards moving you up the ladder, and that is networking. Networking is a very important part of upskilling, and a lot of people ignore the power of networking. You might have the best skills in the market, you might be the best communicator, you might have the best goals, and you have registered a growth continuously, but you've stagnated at a point. And at that point, you might find that the only thing missing is that you're not a good networker. Because especially jobs at the top, right, the top 2% jobs in the market mostly come out of somebody in the organization who knows somebody else outside the organization. That's how people hire at the top when it comes to decision making titles, right? C-level titles, director, VP of something. All these titles are not just hired typically on Indeed or LinkedIn. They're typically hired through first degree and second degree connections. And if you are not part of that set of connections and that network, you might just get left out. So think about it very carefully. And if you're not good at networking, it's fine. You will get good at it. Start slow. Right? So one of the things I did when I first went for my MBA and I was looking for jobs is I had this door in my house, and my goal was that within the next year when I finished my MBA, I wanted to fill the door with all the name tags that I got from networking events, right? And I said, okay, 1 year, a big door, I need to do at least 250 networking events if I have to fill this door with all my name tags, right? You go to a networking event, they give you a name tag, so you put it. And I filled it. And in the end, I got 3 jobs just because I went to those networking events. And this is something that you all need to take very close attention. You need to give close attention to, and you need to think about how and where you need to go networking. Yes, I know COVID is an exception. You'll be asking, oh my God, there's COVID going on. What do you mean go out networking? It's an exception. It's going to end at some point, but prepare yourself. What do you need to do next in terms of networking? And when the COVID scenario goes away, where and how should you go and network? Be it with other professionals who are not in your space. Because trust me, when you go to an event that's outside of your typical work area, you'll learn some new things and you'll discover a whole new career that you want for yourself. So with those tips, I would like to end this video, but please like, share and subscribe if you liked my video, and please comment down with any thoughts, any feedback or any new videos that you would like for me to post. Keep watching my channel and happy studying, happy working. This is your Global Survival Guide, Ashish Fernando, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.